Which was India's first satellite? Aryabhatta. Which was India's first nuclear reactor? Apsara. The first joint sitting of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha was held in which year? 1961. India hosted the South Asian Games for the first time in which year? 1987. Which doctor performed the first successful human-to-human heart transplant in India on 3 August 1994? P. Venugopal. The President's rule was imposed for the first time in which Indian state? Punjab. Who was the first Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha? M. A. Iyengar. Who was the first Indian to join the Indian Civil Service? Satyendranath Tagore. Who was the first Vice President of India? Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. Who was the first Chief Vigilance Commissioner of India? Nittur Srinivasa Rao. Which was the first ship constructed fully in India after independence? Jal Usha. Who was the first Chief Justice of India? H. J. Kaniya. Who was the first Indian to be appointed as the Chief Economist of the World Bank? Kaushik Basu. Who was the first Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission of India? Gulzarilal Nanda. Where was the first hydroelectric power plant installed in India? Darjeeling. Who became the first Indian Chief of the Naval Staff? Admiral Ramdas Katari. Who was the first Director General of the Border Roads Organization? Major General K. N. Dubey. Who was the first Vice Chairperson of the Niti Aayog? Arvind Panagaria. Which IPL cricket team became India's first unicorn sports enterprise? Chennai Super Kings. The first military farm in India was set up in which year? (1889). was the first principal scientific advisor to the Government of India? APJ Abdul Kalam. Which company launched India's first payments bank? Bharti Airtel. Who was the first captain of the Indian cricket team in test matches? C.K. Naidu. When was the first session of the first Lok Sabha commenced? 13 May 1952. Which was the first English language newspaper published in India? Hickey's Bengal Gazette. Who was the first chairman of the Union Public Service Commission of Independent India? H.K. Kripalani. Which is India's first indigenously developed nuclear submarine? INS Arihant. Who was the first Governor General of British India? Lord William Bentinck. Who became the first Attorney General for India? M.C. Settlewood. In which year gross GST collection has crossed the 1.5 lakh crore rupees mark for the first time? 2022. Who was the first Chief Justice of the Federal Court of India? Maurice Guare. Who was the first Health Minister of India? Amrit Kaur. Which is the first Indian IT company to cross the $100 billion mark in terms of market capitalization? Tata Consultancy Services. Who was the first Prime Minister to be born after India's independence? Narendra Modi. Who was independent India's first Home Minister? Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Who was the first non-Indian president of the Indian National Congress? George Yule. In which year was the first Indo-Pakistani War started? 1947. Who was India's first track and field athlete to win a gold medal at the Olympics? Neeraj Chopra. Who became India's first president from the tribal community? Draupadi Murmu. Who became the first Indian to win a world title in motorsports? Aishwarya Pise. Who was the first leader of the opposition in Rajya Sabha? Shyam Nandan Mishra. Who was the first Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Air Force of Independent India? Air Marshal Thomas Elmhurst. Where was India's national anthem Jana Gana Mana first sung publicly? Calcutta. Who was the first chairman of the State Bank of India? John Mathai. Which was the first Indian film to be nominated for Oscars? Mother India. India's first aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant, was decommissioned in which year? 1997. Who was the first Controller General of Accounts of India? C.S. Swaminathan. Which lake was recognized as the first Ramsar site in India? Chilika Lake. Who was Independent India's first Foreign Secretary? K.P.S. Menon. Who was the first president of the Indian Olympic Association? Dorabji Tata.